Hi everyone, in this video I will present about the community of Boys Love fans in the Facebook group named Dan May and Boys Love. Let's take a look at the term Boys Love and Dan May. Boys Love and its abbreviation BL is another name of the genre yaoi, a fictional media that narrates the homoerotic romance between male characters originating from Japan. The term boys love is self-descriptive as stories, web dramas, webcomics about the love between boys. Danmei is the kind of novel in China that also depicts the romantic relationship between male characters. Its literal meaning is the indulgence of beauty. These genres are oriented at the female audience, so they are made to attract the female audience's visual standards. The name Dan Main Boys Love represents the topic of the group where fans of boys love comics and novels gather and share content related to homoerotic relationships between male characters. The main focus of this group is Korean boys love webcomics, Japanese mangas, and danmei novels. The interaction of the members was so dynamic that it creates a culture of fandom practice. To investigate in this interaction, I seek to answer three questions. First, how do the Boys Love fans articulate the fandom practice in the group? Second, what is the driving force for this dynamic communication? And finally, what is the role of the Facebook group as an online community in the practice of Boys Love fandom? After analyzing the answers to the questions, I claimed a thesis statement. In the group Denmei and Boys Love, webcomics and virtual characters are used to create a boys love fandom culture which reflects their social presumptions and the affection bonds with the comics. The main theory I use to analyze the interaction in this group is actor network theory, introduced by Bruno Latour. This theory claims that we should look at society as a network that is made of many actors. Actors are things that have social characteristics and agency to create interaction in the network. It can be both humans or non human objects. By focusing on the relationships of these actors, we would have an in depth understanding about the network. When looking at the Boys Love fan community as a network, I look at the webcomics and characters as actors. In addition, with the platform Facebook group and the members, the investigation in this network and the role of each actor would help analyze the dynamic communication and interaction of the members in the Facebook group. I also touch on the concept communities of affirmation introduced by Ronald Nizel to see is when it works as an online group and forums claims that people of marginalized group who are seen as abnormal by the majority in society would form an online forum, a digital community to express their unaccepted identity and get the affirmation from their community. The community of affirmation provides a closed space to exchange ideas freely and safely. Using the ideas in this article could help me examine how members express their preferences, some of which are considered vulgar. About the methodology, the main method would be observation. I observed 73 posts, which are in forms of writings, images, videos. For each post, I look at about 10 to 20 comments. In general, I go through at least 730 comments. I mainly look at the attitude of people, the use of language and images, and the preference of people with type of post comment gain high engagement. In specific, these are the attributes that I observe. A. Content posted. Generally, the theme of content would be divided into two categories: expressive sharing content and conversational evoking content. Posts that contain expressive sharing content serve the purpose of the writer as to express their feelings, share their personal experience while being boys love fans. Posts that plays the role of a conversation starter or threads, they are often in the form of questions that seek comments, opinions, sharings from other members. B. Interactions between participants. There are comments, reactions on the posts, and finally, self-presentation. I look at the way members choose to present themselves through their Facebook name account, their engagement to the posts in the group, and the story they choose to share. In addition, I also conduct a survey, which is supplementary for the observation. I send out a list of questions to have a grasp about the demographic of members in the group. Here are some observations and findings. Overview about this group. This is a public group with more than 175,000 members. Most of the members in the group are Vietnamese who engage vigorously in conversations in the group. The majority of these members are female. Their ages range from 13 to 24. There are some basic rules to keep the group as a safe and friendly environment, such as do not inflict conflict, absolutely forbid of age-restricted content, respect others' privacy. After going through the posts, here are some of my findings. The rest of the video would be divided into three parts. The first part is about the culture of boys love fandom. The second part examines how webcomics and characters act as actors in the network of boys love fans community. And the final part is about the role of Facebook in facilitating the interaction between the members. First thing first, the culture of boys love fans reflects the social assumptions and the affection bonds with the comics. The first social assumption is the tendency to apply the gender binary to gay couples. They would call the character who is positioned at the bottom by the pronouns honey, baby, the wife, and use feminine, submissive adjectives to comment on the bottom, such as cute, pretty, docile, vulnerable. Conversely, the character who is positioned at the top would be strong, cold-hearted, masculine. This practice originates from the interpretation of fans while reading boys love comics. This resonates with the gender binary of Vietnamese social system and the patriarchal social system in Vietnam, where strong masculine men are dominant in their relationship. The second thing is the appreciation of the characters' visuals that meet the fans' beauty standards. The majority of the comics discussed in the group are Korean and Chinese webcomics, so the beauty standard of the artists and the readers are harmonious based on the Asian beauty standard. As for the top, the fans often express their affection to those characters who have six packs, broad shoulders, not overweight, tall, and the beauty standards for the bottom are small body shape, V-shaped face, flawless skin, big eyes. This appreciation often manifests on the posts about the characters with captions mentioning the beauty, attractiveness of the character, and the comments following often adore the visuals, such as I cannot handle this good-looking appearance or too hot to handle. This is one of the main features of Boys Love Comics, the appealing visuals. The artists are dedicated to the visual of the characters as drawing them on the general Asian beauty standards, making them become good looking according to the fans. The community of fans would reinforce this by sharing these images of the characters and expressing their affection towards the appearance of the characters. This resonated with the social assumptions of lookism when people express their affection to a character whose visual meets the fan standard and neglect the type of characters that go against popular beauty standards. For example, the character here is bold, old, with wrinkled skin, so the comments are mostly unpleasant. Another feature of this culture is the practice of bringing the character into the real world. As the members discuss the content of the manga, their fun and affection to the character increases, and they talk about those characters as their lovers, husband, children. There are even posts about the personality analysis of the characters, content of when characters using Facebook Messenger. They treat the characters as real people, despite the fact that they're just virtual 2D artwork. This is the part of the fandom practice. They produce content of the character in the real world context, bringing them from the comics to the reality. The fans show their sentiment and emotional connection with the character by granting the relationship from reader and virtual characters to the kind of intimate relations, the kinship of mother-son, mother and son-in-law. This brings us to the second finding. The webcomics and the characters in these comics become the actors in the network of this Boys Love fans community in addition to the fans and the Facebook group platform. Among the content posted on the group, the majority of them is about the webcomics and characters. These become the most popular topic that facilitates the communication. The reason for these conversations is the affection that the fans have with the characters and their emotions toward them. The characters in webcomics evoke various emotions of the fans while they read, from happy, cheerful to sad or angry. Here's the post of fans sharing the scenes manga that makes them emotional. They feel the need to express their affection and emotions to the community of people who share the same interest as them. These non-human actors, the virtual characters, and the webcomics have the ability to gather people together as they share the same feeling towards the comics. Fans will share the screenshots of a cut from the webcomics or the memes about a character. They are also the reasons for the conflict and debate on the groups when there are people who hold opposing viewpoints. People would argue about the detail of the webcomics or whether the character is justified for cheating their lover or not. These discussions can be seen as responses of fans to the webcomics. Moreover, they also serve to educate and reinforce the group culture, since more members who don't know about the webcomics would comment to ask about the name of the comics or ask for a review of them. The final finding is about the role of the Facebook group in facilitating the interactions between members. The platform Facebook offers some of these suitable attributes for the members to interact with each other. Most of the members are fans of Boys Love webcomics, a visual media. Thus, the features of Facebook that allows posting photos, videos plays a huge role in the discussion of members about those webcomics. They could share the cut from the comics, images of the characters through screenshots. The high engaged posts are ones with photos or videos about the scenes in the comic. Photos in the forms of memes are also used to comment represent the emotions and thoughts. Facebook offers an open space where fans can contribute content ranging from posts that contain hundreds of words to just a few sentences. The discussion also revolves around the experience of being a Boys Love fan, although there are conflicts in the viewpoints towards certain problems. The conflicts are expressed in the form of debates through comments or posts. Not many personal attacks or toxic comments are found. The group is an open space for members to express their hobbies, preference, fetish about everything related to boys love, even the unaccepted preferences, such as boys love manga that contains rape, pedophile, sadism. The censorship and moderatorship of the group are not strictly enacted. However, the unregulated and blooming flow of content and loose administration of the members' identity in the group raise concerns about the underage member when they are exposed to the erotic, age-restricted content in the boys love genre which are inappropriate with their age. The lenient moderatorship could be a double-edged sword, as on one hand it empowers the willingness to share and diversity of topics, but on the other hand it poses the risk of child safety violation. In conclusion, the culture of the boys love fans in the group Danmei and Boys Love reflects their social assumptions of the gender binary, Asian beauty standard lookism, and their affection with the webcomics. This culture is manifested through the posts about webcomics and their character, the two actants that give the fans real emotions and interests as the driving force for the dynamic communication. In addition, the platform Facebook group also facilitates the discussion of the fans thanks to its features. And that's the end of my video. Thanks for watching.